Well, hello everyone. Thanks for watching this video. Today I've got some items that sold for you over the last week that I'm going to be sharing with you at the end of this video, so please stick around to watch that. Yesterday I spent the day out thrifting and I went to around 5 stores, picked up some really good items, and one thing I've been trying to do lately, if you've been watching me at all recently, is that I've been trying to pick up items outside of the clothing section. What I mean is that basically I'm still looking at clothing, I'm still picking up a lot of the same items that I would pick up before, but now I'm trying to expand into other things like mugs or electronics or just other categories. And I've just been trying to expand my knowledge so that I can find better items to sell on eBay. It's great to have a niche, and I would definitely say that men's clothing is my niche. But if I can increase what I'm finding just simply by looking at other sections and finding some of those home run items, I'm doing that as well. So I'm also going to be showing you some items that I found at the thrift store yesterday, and they're right over here. These are going to be, like I said, more non-clothing items that you can find, hopefully at some of your thrift stores. I'll show you the brand that I picked up, and then I'll mention exactly what I think I should be able to get and what I paid for it. So those are a couple of the things that I'm going to be doing on this video, the what solds and a few Bolo items. So please don't go anywhere. As of right now, I've got to ship out some items that sold yesterday. I've got 10 items in total to ship out. So let's go to the garage and pick those items up, and I'll show you my inventory system that I work with. Let's go. All right, so I'm going to show you right now what I'm seeing on my screen so that you can see the custom SKUs that I'm looking at. That basically tells me where to find the items. Let me flip this camera around and show you exactly the inventory system that I use. You can see I've got two shelving racks full of bins. Each of these bins holds about 40 to 50 items. And just here I've got at the bottom A1, B1, C1, D1, and it goes all the way down to 6, so A1 to A6, and then B1 all the way down to B6, and so on and so forth. And then obviously over here, same thing applies, C7, C8, C9, and then a few items over there. So you can see the label on the front there, and that's how I know where the item is. So now I'm gonna pull up my eBay items that sold in the app, and I'll show you here on the screen just so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. All right, first item up is in C3. Actually, the first 2 items up are in C3. There's C3. And there's that first item right there on top, the 511 pants. So that's an easy find right there. Next item up, guess you can't see that, LL Bean Oxford dress shirt. That's going to be more towards the bottom, I believe. Actually, no, there it is right there. First 2 items right on top. Love it when that happens. All right, we've got some of the items, most of the items. There are a few in my room, so let's go back to the room so that we can grab those items, and I'll show you where else I keep other items in storage. Got those items there that I just picked out of the garage. I've got 3 more items I need to get out of this room. Got a couple bins I've been working on down here. These are items that I've been listing recently, and I've got 2 items out of there that I need to grab, so I'm gonna grab those real quick, and both of them are actually in E1. So with one hand, let's move that down, see what we can find. All right, let's take a look. And I need a Cabela's shirt and a North Face fleece. So there's the North Face fleece right on top. Sold that for $30. And a Cabela's shirt. See if I can find it. And I found the Cabela's shirt. I've got one more place where I keep items that are not really clothing items, some clothing, but most of these are hard goods. But the actual item that I want to get out of this closet over here is a jacket. So anything that's bigger in clothing or just hard goods, I keep in this closet. Here is where I keep all of my hard goods. You can see like backpacks, shoes, golf stuff, mugs, more hats, and then I keep all these heavy coats right here just so they don't take up a lot of room with bins. And then I've got bubble wrap and all kinds of like packaging materials there. So this is a great spot for items that I don't want to put in a bin that I can just put in here and forget about. But for right now, I need this coat right there. Zara Man. All right, I've now got all the items that sold for me in the last day here. I've got 10 items total. Let's get to shipping. Great news, just sold a shirt for $20 with new with tags. This is an item I've had sitting in my store for a while, so glad that it's gone. 20 bucks all in with shipping. It was an Izod button-down shirt, brand new. One thing I do when I'm shipping is I write the state abbreviation on the package so that I know which label goes on which package. I don't know if you can see that, but this one's going to Connecticut. Now, in the rare occurrence that I do have 2 packages or more going to the same state, I will write the state abbreviation and the zip code. In this case, I've got 2 packages going to the state of Washington, so I've got Washington 98382 on this package, and I'll put the other zip code on the other. This is a brand to be on the lookout for. The brand is Cool, and this is the Cool Alpaca Fleece. If you were watching a recent video of mine, I told you that I picked this up about 2 weeks ago for, I believe it was $12. I just sold this for $45 total. Padded flat rate is the way to go if you have an item over a pound. You can get this in a padded flat rate envelope if it fits. You save a buck or 2 and it goes quickly. When I have an item that's heavy to ship like this, I put it on the scale first to see how much it weighs. So this trench coat is just under 3 pounds at 2 pounds 10 ounces, but by the time I add a box, it's going to be sitting at around 3 to 4 pounds. So what I'll do at something like this is I'll put in 4 pounds on the computer, and I'll look at the best options to ship this and see if I have something that this will fit in that will save me some money. So for right now, with this trench coat, I can pay $10.41 to go priority mail, but there are 2 other options I can look at that are cheaper than just the regular priority mail. The next option right below just regular priority mail is a flat rate, sorry, not flat rate, is a regional rate A box. It's pretty much this flat box, and it says regional rate A right here on the box. I can definitely fit this in here, and instead of it paying $10.41 to ship it out priority mail, I can ship this for $9.05 in this box. So already I've saved $1.30 and change. But as mentioned before, the padded flat rate envelope is your best option for items over a pound. Doesn't matter how heavy it is because it's a flat rate option. So if I can somehow roll this up and get it in here, I will ship this out for $7.91 and save $2.50 from priority mail. So let's see if I can do this. And just like that, a 4-pound item in this envelope saved me $2.50 just on this shipment. So now I've got all of my packages here ready to put the labels on them, and as you can see, they're the state abbreviations. Remember, I had a couple of Washingtons. There's one, and the other one is right over here. Now it's time to print the labels. Because of this system that I use, it's really easy to read off the state and just stick it on the package that goes with it. All right, and just like that, all of these are finished and ready to be thrown into the box that will then go to the post office. And now we have yesterday's shipments ready to go. Let's go put them on the porch. So hopefully you picked up some tips from that shipping section and could see just how I do things. Everyone does it differently, and really the point is do what works for you. So if you have a way of doing it and it's been working for you, there's no need to change it. But if you're looking for some tips, hopefully what I showed you can help you. I want to add really quickly before I move on to this next portion in which I show you some Bolo items that I picked up yesterday. The printer that I just printed from is an amazing printer, and I actually talked about this in my eBay supplies, reseller supplies video. But if you're looking for an upgrade, meaning you didn't just start, you have a printer, but you're looking to speed up the amount of labels you can print and just get better quality labels, I would suggest looking at the Rollo thermal printer. That printer is amazing. As you saw earlier, the printer printed it out really quickly. I had my labels within about 15 seconds from start to finish for about 10 labels, which is pretty quick. Compared to what I had before, just a cheap $50 Canon printer, which it got the job done, but let's be honest, it took 20 to 30 seconds to print out one page, which was 2 labels. So the Rollo thermal printer is a great step up if you're looking for that next update with your supplies, specifically the printer. And let me just say that you can find that printer in the description of this video and every video really if you're looking to purchase. You can click the link and it'll take you to Amazon where you can find the printer, the labels, and the holder for the labels. So check it out if you're interested. All right, now let's get into the Bolo items that I found yesterday. And as you can see over here, which I alluded to before, I have probably 50 to 60 clothing items that I could go over. But I want to be a little different on this video, and rather than showing you some of the brands that I picked up in clothing, I want to show you some really awesome things that I picked up here when I branched out and got out of clothing and looked in hard goods. So let's just start. I've got probably 8 to 10 items that should go for some really good money. This first item I used to pick up quite a bit, but I just don't find them as much anymore. Printer ink sells really fast. This is the type of item that once you list it, you may get a few offers, depending on which ink you have and what brand. But this is Epson. This was $1, and for this brand new and packaged, they go for around 20 bucks. This one did just expire in August of 2020, so it's about 3 months old, but I shouldn't have a problem selling it. And just so you know, expired ink still sells. But even if I get $15 for this from $1, I still make about $7 profit, and it ships first class. I just picked this up yesterday for, you can see right there, $1.21. It's a Starbucks mug that has a specific geographic location on it, and anytime you can find these mugs, they usually go for some really good money. Now there are some that are more rare and collectors, and people will pay up for those. I actually just sold 2 weeks ago the Starbucks chili mug for $40 on a best offer, and I only paid $2 for it. This mug will not go for as much, but I should get $25 to $30 for this mug. So great flip, $1 and change into, let's call it $25. Now I'll stick with the theme of like ceramics and porcelain and things like that because I've just been looking more in the mugs and the plates and like China dinnerware section in general. And I usually am looking for items that just stick out to me. Let's be honest, guys, I'm a clothing reseller. I don't have a lot of experience selling like China or dinnerware or plates or things like that. So when I go in there, I'm really just kind of guessing. But if you're like me and you're looking for new items to sell and source, and let me just say that it's always a great idea to be open to new items, just go into a section and see what sticks out to you. For some reason, I don't know how it works, but you'll notice something. You'll be like, huh, that pattern looks different, or that item looks unique. And then you can just stop and look it up. And that's what I did with this piece. Now I'm only showing you one, but there were 4 bowls and 4 plates that all match this set. And they were $10 for the set. And what I did is look up the back. So I looked up that brand, which I think is Tien Shan. Probably pronouncing that wrong. So what I did is I typed in this brand, Tien Shan Leopard Plate, into eBay, sold comps, and I did a quick research right in the store on what these plates go for. And right away I found the exact same set, I think the same amount of pieces, 8 pieces, that sold for $40. So I paid $10 for these 8, and I should get close to $40. So that will profit me $20 to $25 depending on how expensive shipping is. And I'll make sure to pack it really well with a lot of bubble wrap and cushioning to keep this from getting broken. This next item I was hesitant about, and I thought about it for a little while, but I decided to go with it because it had a green tag, which meant it was half price. Now, I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I would guess $1 or $2. This is a brand new, still has the tag on it, Charles Dickens bear, like a holiday bear. I looked these up and comps range from $20 to $30 for this specific bear. Now this is an item that I'll probably need to sell quickly or maybe sitting on it for a while as we are in the Christmas holiday season. The reason why I would be hesitant to pick this up, because if it goes for $20, $1 into 20 is not that much of a profit, but it is lightweight, so I can cram this into a poly mailer and ship it first class, so it's cheap on shipping. My only concern was there's a few of these out there, and so I may have to sit on this for a little bit. We'll see. But I'll price it to compete and see if I can get it sold quickly. Another section that I'm constantly looking in now for new items are the bags. And I haven't found a lot of bags, but a couple weeks ago I did find an Osprey backpack that I bought for $2 and flipped for $30 pretty quickly. I think it was within a day of listing. So I'm continuing to look out for like outdoor backpacks and great brands. I still haven't found a Toomey yet, but I've been watching other videos and I know that Toomey is a brand to be on the lookout for. So if you know Toomey, if you know what it looks like, or if you don't, Google it and figure out what the logo looks like so that you can be on the lookout for Toomey. This isn't Toomey per se, but it is Dakeen. Now I've never really picked up Dakeen as a brand before, but this is a women's bag. This had a little tag on it, so I believe I paid $4 for it. It's like a weekend or duffel bag. It's a pretty good size. It's got a little strap here. It's got a great pattern, and it's in great condition. I did sold comp research in the store, and I didn't see this specific bag, but based on similarities and maybe some that were very much alike this but different color, I would expect $30 to $40 for this bag. All right, and this box right here, guys, this is where the gold is. I've got about 20 mugs in here that will sell really well. Let me explain real quick what I'm looking at for mugs. Usually when I'm looking in the mug section, I'm looking for sets. So if you can find a set of 2 or more, obviously the more you find, the better, because you can sell it as a larger set, keep shipping all together for that one item, and obviously profit more money. All right, so the first thing I noticed in the store was these 3 all similar mugs, blue, green, and yellow. Don't know if it's too bright for you there, but then I looked up the bottom of the mug. So you can see it says Certified International. So I put into eBay Certified International mugs, and there were a few of these same color sets that sold for that $30 to $40 range. One thing you want to make sure of with mugs is check the rim of all the mugs, make sure they're not chipped or cracked. Check the bottom, make sure that the whole entirety of the mug is in excellent condition, because if it is chipped, that's obviously going to bring it down. Now this one did have a chip right here, a very small chip, and you kind of have to really look for it, but I'll make sure to take a picture of that. I still shouldn't have a problem selling these mugs. When I think of these mugs, typically the type of buyer I think of as buying these, if they're not just like a specific brand loyal person or buyer, I'm thinking about people who have like cabins or Airbnbs where they want to get a set of dishware that all matches. And so maybe my buyer is someone who just opened their Airbnb and they're looking to stock it with some items that they find online or in stores for their guests to use. So this could definitely be one of those items. So for these 3, I'm going to price it in the $40 range and hope to get somewhere in the $30 to $40 range. These next 2 mugs I looked up, and I'll show you the bottom there, Max Sarah. So you can see Max Sarah, and it's a beautiful sunflower print. It's a very large mug, and sometimes what you can list this as, and you can list it as a coffee mug, but you can also put like chili bowl or soup bowl, and hopefully that will get all the people looking for coffee mugs and the people looking for chili mugs. So I paid $2.92 for this, for each of these mugs, $5. I was a little more hesitant because these weren't $1 a piece. I still picked them up, but hesitant at $5 for both. I looked these up, and a set of 3 of these with the exact same pattern went for, I think, just under $40. So I'm figuring about $12 to $15 for each mug. So I'll price these around $35 and take a best offer for upper 20s to $35. And the very last item in this box is 14 mugs. They're all the same mug. And I have to tell you about this because this was the find of the day. I didn't realize this when I picked them up, how good they were, but I got home, did some comp research, and I was blown away at all the mugs in this box that will go for close to $50 a piece. Now keep in mind, I've got 14 of these. I paid $1.11 for each mug. So for roughly about $15 to $16, I got all of these mugs that will go for $500 to $600 once they all sell. I just happened to be sitting down this weekend watching American Arbitrage on TikTok, and he talked about this brand. And lo and behold, 2 days later, I found it. Here's the mug. Are you ready to see the brand? That's what it looks like. The brand is Spode, and under it says Spode England. So it's a great brand that he recommended to his viewers, and I got that tip of information and found these. Now obviously I wasn't flipping over all the mugs to see the bottom, but there were 14 of these, all the same pattern in excellent condition, and you can tell just based on that floral design. And so I knew that these could be worth something. So I looked it up and there were no sold comps. So I looked to see if anyone was selling it, and there was one seller for this exact mug on eBay. And they had these priced at $50 per mug plus $8 shipping. So I'm going to price them just under theirs and hope to start selling them. When I got home, I also did some research on these just by doing a quick Google search, and this exact mug pulled up brand new for $85 a piece on another website. So I feel really confident. These may take a while to sell because your average person isn't looking to pay $50 for a mug, but hopefully I can list these quantity 14 and sell a few of them at a time to different buyers. $15 to $16 paid should return $500 to $600 in sales. Just to give you an idea on how good of a steal that was, the sales that I should make from those mugs will bring in more than I spent yesterday on all the thrift store items in total. So that was a major score. Once I sell all of these, that will pay for my day yesterday, and then I've got those 50 or 60 items still left to sell, which would be complete profit. So those are the bolos that I want to show you, and I really hope that you are able to find some sweet brands that will bring for you money just like I found myself. So thank you, American Arbitrage, for your tip there on your channel, and it really paid off for me within 2 days of watching your video. All right, let me go ahead and put these items back where they need to be, and then I'll come back and show you some items that sold in the last week for great money. All right, now let's get into the items that sold in the last week for me. So these aren't all the items that I sold. Just keep in mind, these are 24 items that I've selected for you that are on the higher priced end. So with the exception of a couple of these, most of these are $30 or more that I can show you. Brands that sell well, items that sell well, so that when you're in the store, you can find those as well. With all of these items, I've been doing free shipping. One thing I've changed recently is I'm now charging for shipping, as effective a couple days ago. But these items are all items that sold on free shipping. So the price that I give you that I sold it for includes shipping. So just keep that in mind. Item number one was a North Face jacket for women that I picked up at Goodwill. It was $8. It was very lightweight, very soft, and it was like, I think they say monkey fur is how they pronounce that as far as the texture of that fabric. I'm not sure, but I think Patagonia did a specific jacket just like this that was the same material. Nonetheless, I digress. North Face jacket sold on a best offer of $30 within a couple days of listing this. Here's one of the items that sold for a little less, but I wanted to throw it in there just as an example of an item that sells for men on the smaller end. This was men's small. You can see it's an LL Bean Oxford dress shirt, and the size was 15. The size was 15, but I did the corresponding size. So instead of 15, I did small. I put 15 next to it, and it sold. Now keep in mind, smaller items sell for less amounts, specifically when it comes to men. So when you get a small or medium, you want to price it lower, or you may sit on that for a while. That's what I did. I priced it around that $27 range, a couple bucks less than what I normally would go for, and it sold on a best offer of $23. Next up is a brand that is still really consistent for me, 511 Tactical. It's a brand that sells really quickly, and I have a hard time keeping these items in my store. These are a pair of pants that sold for $25. They got returned because they didn't fit. They got sent back. I listed them. A day later, they sold again for $25. So 511, great brand. Look for them, and you should be able to profit $10 or $15. This next item I paid up for in the store at a Goodwill. These are $25, and they're women's, and I guess you could say they're men's too, because on the shoe it said women's size and then men's size. So they're a unisex Birkenstock sandal. I listed them both as women's and men's. I thought they were brand new but without the box, but when I got home I could see they had been used and worn once or twice. So I listed them, excellent condition, worn a few times. Brand new, these sell for around that $70 range on eBay, so I knew I couldn't get $70, but I was hoping for that $60 range. I listed them around $65, $68, and they sold for a best offer of $55 within a week of listing them. So that was a great sale. I paid $25, I definitely got my money back, and still made $15 to $20. This next item I picked up, obviously at a thrift store, but I don't remember how much I paid for it. I know that I wouldn't have paid more than $10 for this Carhartt jacket because there are a lot of them out there, and there seems to just be a lot of sellers selling jackets just like this. But nonetheless, there are always a lot of buyers looking for this, especially right now in this season. So I listed this at the $55 range, and I got an offer for $45, and I took it. So for something that I would have paid around $8 to $10 for, I sold into $45. This next item is an item that I look for quite a bit, and these are baseball gloves. Baseball or softball, either one. Kids, adults. The adults sell better because you can get more money, but kids still have a market if you can pay a little amount of money for them. Usually I'll pay anywhere from $3 to $5 for one of these gloves, which was the case with this item, and I sold this on a best offer of $25. Gloves are typically something that you can fit in a flat rate envelope and pay $7 and change and get it out the door. So great sale on this Mizuno baseball glove. And when it comes to gloves as well, one more quick tip, usually I get more than $30. $30 to $40 is that range. I did sell a Nike baseball glove used for $45. So don't bypass baseball gloves. Look them up, put the model number in the description, and you can definitely get some great money. This next item I was hoping to get a little bit more just because it was in excellent condition and it was very heavy, and on top of that, it was wool. So it looked brand new. The brand is Cabela's. Cabela's I'm very particular with, but with something that is an outerwear, a heavier piece, I'll definitely consider a lot of brands that I wouldn't pick up in their shirts. This was again, heavy wool piece, and I had it around that $55 range. It was men's XL, so it was a great size, and I was hoping to get $50. A buyer came along, made an offer for $40, I countered at $50. They came back to $40, I countered at $45, and I honestly was thinking $45 is as low as I'll go. But I did some research on some of these jackets, and honestly I was thinking it's probably better for me just to go ahead and get $40 now, since I do have a buyer waiting with an offer. And I knew that if I countered, he may decline it. There was a chance he could take it, but I didn't want to take that chance. So I accepted at $40, which on this was probably a profit of 20 bucks. This next item you actually saw me pull out of the closet. This is a Zara men's trench coat. Now with this item, I sold it brand new with tags. I had it around that $100 range, and I kept having to lower the price because Zara is just a brand that has more representation in Europe than it does in America. Now I do have the international program set up, but I just was not getting any buyers or offers or anything. I had this for about $65 to $70. Again, it was new with tags. And a buyer came along and made an offer for $50. After having this for about a year in my store, I took the offer of $50 because I knew I needed to get my money back, or I may be waiting another year for another buyer. And then the buyer got it and opened a return and said it doesn't fit. So I received returns in my store and I took the item back. Now, if you've been watching my channel lately, I've just had some weird buyers, and this guy was no exception. I got the Zara trench coat back. And remember, I sent it off new with tags, and it came back. The tag was in the box, but it had been ripped off, and it clearly had signs of wear. It had marks all over the jacket of where he had worn it, and some like dust or just some soil of some sort on the jacket. So he had clearly worn it for probably a week or two, and then just decided he didn't want it. So he sent it back, and I had this dilemma. In my store, I have it written out and spelled out word for word that if you buy an item new with tags and you return it used or without the tags, I have to now sell it as used. So I will only give you 50% of a refund of the value of that item that you paid. So he paid $50. I instantly gave a refund of $25 because I can still sell it and get some money, but he didn't return it new. The buyer opened up a case on eBay against me because I only gave him 50% back. eBay immediately sided with him within an hour or so of him opening the case to give him the rest of the $25. Now, I've been frustrated lately because this is 2 times it has happened in the last week where the buyer sent back something to me that was new with tags and they sent it back used and worn and clearly used. And I'm frustrated because eBay keeps choosing to side with the buyer and give them their money back. Now, I will say one caveat was they didn't charge me for the remaining $25. So I should be happy, right? Well, yes, I am happy, and I'm thrilled that I didn't get charged for the other $25. But I'm pretty bummed that they would give him back the rest of his money because he will go and do the same thing to someone else and get his money back, and he will not learn his lesson. So eBay, if you're watching, please do something. Create some kind of policy to make it to where buyers like this cannot take advantage of the system. All right, so that was the story behind this. I relisted it now. I can't list it as new. I relisted it as used, and within a few days it sold for 30 bucks, and I'm happy to just get it out. Hopefully I won't get a return on this item, and it's gone. This next item was a Bolo item that I mentioned on TikTok. The brand is Department 56, and I recently was turned on to this brand. I saw it in the thrift store. I saw a few of these Christmas villages. I looked them up, and they were worth picking up. I paid $15 to $20 for each one of these. I picked up 3. They were all very different. There were 2 Christmas themed, and there was 1 Easter themed. Now, I sold the first one for $60 and I sold the second one for $75.80. So already out of about $50 spent on all 3, I've gotten $130 back, and I still have 1 left to sell. And let me just say, the one that I have left to sell is the monster of them all because sold comps go for $180 to $200. So I'll be excited when that one finally flies off the shelf. It is an Easter themed one, so it may take a month or 2, but I'm okay with that as long as I get the money. More importantly, I'm glad that this one's gone because within a month, there will no longer be buyers looking for Christmas villages. So now I don't have to worry about this sitting in my shelf, taking up space for the next year. This next item was an item that is kind of a new brand for me, and it's Walls. Walls has a great outdoor brand. Now, I don't know where you would find this stuff. I honestly don't know what types of stores sell these items. But with Walls, I'm only looking for like the thick, heavy hunting shirts, layers, and this was like a heavy cotton shirt. If you can find a camo pattern, that's even better. And this sold for a best offer of $28.30. For this shirt, I only paid $4, so I would have returned about $15 to $20 profit after all the fees were taken out. This next item took almost a year to sell. These were Patagonia corduroy pants. I picked them up for about $10, and they sold for a best offer of $35. Patagonia corduroy pants and jeans in general are great items that sell for that mid-30s to $50 range, depending on the condition, the cut, the color, and just how old they are. This next item has a story as well. They were Harley Davidson women's jeans, brand new. They were size 0, and if you know women's clothing, 0's on the smaller end. I was a little hesitant thinking I may sit on these for a while, but they actually sold within a couple months of listing. Funny story about these is I had these at $37.80, and you can see that's what they sold for. But before that, I had someone make an offer for $27, so I countered at $32. And I was thinking I'll be happy with $32. If they counter at $30, I'll accept. But before they could counter, someone came in and paid full price for these. A completely new buyer, and I couldn't be more excited because I got more than I was willing to sell these for at $37.80. This happens all the time. And a little tidbit to you, if you are selling items and you have offers on those items, if someone sends you a lowball offer, I didn't receive a lowball on these, but even if someone sends you a lowball offer, never decline the offer. Here's why. Because when you counter, and the more times you go back and forth with buyers, it doesn't matter if it's the same buyer or different buyers, when you counter offers and go back and forth, eBay sees it as activity and interest on those items, and they will specifically push up that item in the search results and give you a temporary boost because it sees it as a hot, active item. And so many times I have sold items for full price after sending offers to other buyers. You can't be happier when you sell an item at full price when you would have taken 10 to 20% less. So it's happened many times, and I'm very happy to report it happened on this one. So a lesson for some of you newbies out there, always counter your offers to make sure that you're getting possibly those buyers that will pay full price. And if you do get a lowball offer, just counter $1 less or something like that. You don't have to counter a lot less, just $1 less is what I do. And then if that buyer goes away, totally fine with it. This next item was a Polo Ralph Lauren, like Madras, I think is how you say the color pattern of this shirt. And that's how I listed it. I said blue plaid Madras. And it was a linen shirt. And I sold it on a best offer of $35. Polo Ralph Lauren is very saturated, but linen sells well. So do flannel shirts, and especially great color patterns. This next item I picked up in the men's section at a thrift store. They had it placed on an incorrect rack. I thought it was men's, and it was new with tags. I got home and found out it was actually women's, and the way that I knew that is because the buttons were on the other side. Now, it's not always the case with women's, but for the most part, if the buttons are on the opposite side, and I believe if you're facing the shirt, they're on the right side, that means women's. So I listed this for $40. I had a best offer of $30. I kept countering it at $35. I even had like 3 or 4 watchers. I probably could have held out and gotten $35, but I wanted to make a sale that day. I had had slow sales the day before, and so I wanted to get one going in the morning, sold it for a best offer of $30. This next item were a pair of Justin Gypsy boots. I've sold these in the past. It was a great sale. They were even a little dirty around the edge. You can't really see it much from this picture. I picked these up for $10 and I sold them at a best offer of $46 within a month of listing these. Be on the lookout for Ariat and Justin cowboy boots. Excellent condition, they'll sell well. This next brand is a great brand, but it has come down. I've said that in the past, but Untuck It, great dress shirt brand. This was men's 2XL. It was like a pink and blue check pattern, and I sold it for full price of $33.05. This next item has been one of my favorites lately. I've mentioned that before, but this was a vintage LL Bean cotton flannel. It was a great color. The blue and the green is like a holiday color right now that sells really well. If you can also find some like red and greens or some red and blues, those are all great holiday colors. This sold for a full price of $37.80. I paid $4 for the shirt, so I probably profited around $25. These next shoes took a while to sell, and I think that's because of the size. They were men's 8, which is on the small side, so I took that into consideration when the offer came in. I had these at $52, and a buyer made an offer for $42. I'd been sitting on these for about 8 months. The brand is Cole Haan 0 Grand Stitch Light. So that was the full shoe model, and they sold for best offer $42. I was able to wrap these in bubble wrap and put them in a poly mailer and pay $5 and change to ship them out. Cole Haan is a great brand. I don't pick up the normal dress shoes as much anymore unless they're just excellent condition. But the ones you want to find are the Grand OS or the 0 Grand, and usually that will say that on the insole of the shoe. This next pair of shoes I picked up more because of the size. If they were a smaller size, I would have left them, but they were size 14. And these were Adidas men's golf shoes, and they sold on a best offer of $40. I paid $8 for these. Happy to make that sale. Louis Garneau is a cycling brand, and it's a great brand to be on the lookout for. This was a men's cycling jacket that, as you can see in the picture, could be unzipped at the shoulders to become a vest for warmer days, and then you could zip back up if you wanted the sleeves. It was in excellent condition, which is almost a stipulation that I almost go by every time. And I sold this for a full price of $37.80. So be on the lookout for Louis Garneau, Specialized, Shimano, Pearl Izumi, all great cycling brands. And some of these items, I'm telling you the same things that I've told you in videos as of recently, mainly because I know I'm picking up some new subscribers. And so first of all, thank you new subscribers for watching. Maybe you're even watching my video for the first time. And I want to make sure that the information I'm giving you in other videos comes up in some of these videos for some of you new people. I alluded to this just a second ago. This was the Starbucks mug that I referred to. It was the Chile, however you want to take that. but it was a rare Starbucks mug I picked up for $1 or $2 at not at Starbucks, at Goodwill, and I flipped for $40 on a best offer. Whenever you have a piece like this that's a collector's piece, you may have to sit around for the buyer to come. For me, this took about 3 to 4 months to sell this mug. I just wait for that buyer to come along, and once they make the offer, then I start negotiating and hopefully make the sale. So whenever you have a collector's piece or a rare item, just know you may have to wait a while to find that buyer if you want to get more money. This next item took a few days to sell. It wasn't that long after I had it and listed it that it sold for a best offer of $35. Brooks Brothers 346, and this was like a rugby shirt. I was a little concerned about orange just because I don't know if it sells that well, but turns out this one sold really well. Great condition, had blue stripes. These rugby shirts sell well. If you can find Brooks Brothers, Ralph Lauren, Polo, those will all sell in the 30s and possibly even 40s. This next pair of jeans I picked up brand new for $10. They are Lucky Brand 181 Relax Straight. Lucky Brand's a great brand that has great resale value even on their used items. So new with tags was a no-brainer for me. They sold on a best offer of $50. And this is the very last item of the 24 that I'm going to tell you about today. This was a vintage Pendleton 100% virgin wool shirt. It was heavy. It even had a small hole on the front, which I took a very good picture of and showed in the description and in the pictures. And I still got a best offer of $30 for this item. Pendleton is a great brand. You specifically want to find heavier items. The heavier, the more money you'll get. If it's wool, obviously it's a lot better than if it's cotton. And so be on the lookout for heavy Pendleton items with the fabric content of wool. Those sell really well. They have come down some, but still there's a demand for those items. All right, so those are the 24 items that I have for you that sold in the last week. I hope that you found some brands that are new to you and you can be looking for. And last thing before I go, my wife and I are going to be headed out tomorrow morning early to Pennsylvania. We're going to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Do I have any viewers out there watching from that area? We're going to be heading up there to see some friends, to hang out. To be honest, it's been a year since we've traveled. I mean, we came home for Christmas, but the time in which we had just as a vacation where we could go explore a new place, it's been a year because of all the changing times and COVID and things like that. So we are very excited to go to a new place where we can explore, eat some great food, see some friends, have fun with them, play games, and enjoy ourselves. I won't talk about it in this video, but if you are subscribed to my channel, I will be publishing a video soon about time away versus vacation. When you're going on vacation, how do you set up your store so that you still get sales if you want, or you can turn it off completely if you don't want sales? And how do you maximize your vacation so that if you're still wanting to make sales, that you're maximizing the amount of sales that you get versus just vacation mode? So be looking for a video like that probably after this video that will explain the differences between eBay's new time away option versus vacation setting and other options that you can do. All right, guys, well, that's all that I have. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Please like this video. I say it all the time, but it helps me. And lastly, if you have any comments, questions, reach out and I'll respond as quickly as I can. If you're already subscribed to this channel, if you hit that bell, you'll be notified when I drop another video. So thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every single view that I get, and I appreciate people like you trying to learn from me. And I welcome any engagement that you may have with my channel. So reach out if you have any questions, and I hope you have a great week. Thanks a lot. We'll see you. Bye.